Hi guys! How did you know about sex? How did you come to know about sex? So guys, welcome to our channel. I'm very excited about today's video. So in today's video, we're featuring our friends aka Panelist as we go through our sex talk experience. So in today's video, like, it's more about how did you know about sex? Did your parents give you the sex talk? Did a sibling step in? Did a relative give you the sex talk? Ama, how did you come to know about sex? Was it through books, the internet, through school, through friends? So watch this video till the end as we discuss these things. So guys, watch it till the end. Keep it locked.
Guys, my name is Valeria and I was requested by my friend to give my opinions on sex education in the African household, and these opinions are my own based off of my experiences and those of the people who are close to me. So the first question that I was asked is whether I was given the sex education, and my answer is plain and simple: no. There was a lot of talk on abstinence, which isn't necessarily sex education. The second thing is, do you think teenagers should be given this talk by their parents, and if yes, why? I do believe that teenagers should be given this talk. It's very important, not only to teach them the hows, the whens, and all this other stuff. It's also to be able to reassure them so that they don't grow with a lot of insecurities. Growing up, all the textbooks looked the same. All the organs drawn, all the diagrams drawn in books and whatever, they all looked the same. And if a teenager looks slightly different, it can be very hard for them growing up. They can grow up with a lot of insecurities. They might start to think that they are abnormal when really there's no anomaly in the anatomy. And so it's reassuring for them that you educate them and tell them that everyone is beautiful, we all don't look the same, and you can look the way that you do look, but it doesn't mean that you're abnormal. It's also important to be able to teach them how to clean their organs, which is something that I realized a lot of people do not know, and they get that information off of the internet, when I think it should be first hand from your guardian or your parent or whoever is basically raising you. The other thing is now sex, the act. I think it's important to educate teenagers about it. First of all, because sex is a huge topic, a multi-layered topic, and there's so many things that need to be addressed, like consent, protection, contraception, like healthy habits around sex, such as peeing afterwards. I don't know whether anyone was actually taught that, but it's very important. Also, I will disclaim that African parents, we've all grown in this African culture, this deep-rooted African culture, and it's hard to uproot it because sex is a taboo, and talks of it are seen or viewed as a taboo in our African culture. So there's that, and we have to say that we don't say that it's not a bad thing that they didn't do it, because some of them didn't know any better. But if you're in a position and you have the information, it's important to teach your young children as they grow up all this information. And if you didn't have that information, then you can't give it. You can't necessarily say something that you're not even educated on. So I do understand why some parents didn't teach us about it, but if you're in a position to, then it's important to share it with your child. The other thing is the stereotypes around sex. Sex education is important because there's so many stereotypes around sex that are false, that are so misleading. Like, as a child growing up, there were so many talks of sex being a gift that you give a man when you're married, and it kind of mentally disallows you from enjoying it when you eventually, or if you actually go ahead to do it, which is really sad. And so that's why it's important to talk about these things, to demystify the stereotypes that we've grown up in, and to empower more children to even talk to their offsprings about it. So the last thing that I will say is that for me, it's very important. I do believe that yes, African parents do lag behind in this topic, but I will also say that we need to acknowledge that not all of them have this information. Some of them still believe in these stereotypes, and they didn't know any better. Simply, they didn't know any better. But if you're sitting with that information and you're choosing not to teach your child, or you're basically leaving that education to schools or to teachers, you're shying away from it for a specific reason, I think it's important that you open up to your child, be more open, talk about it. And there are so many mistakes that could be made that can be avoided. Yeah, so that's my opinion, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the video. So yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Hey, naonekana fiti. I hope unaonekana fiti. So the first question is, this segment is about the sex talk African parents. So were you given the sex talk by your parents? Was I given the sex talk by my parents? Okay, this one is tricky. I think the first time my mom saw me with a girl, the only sex, hey.
Wow.
Cut.
Can't believe this. What is this? Couldn't get it. Hard to believe it.
So the first time my mom, or let me say my parents saw me with a girl, they were like, okay, my mom specifically. So let me speak about my mom. My mom was like, wait, you just go with your girls, but Mr. Kim Jukusai. So I guess that's the kind of sex talk I was given by my parents. The other sex talk was, let me see, I think one of my uncles, when I joined campus, and I knew if I would a sex talk, because she was like, we ukienda campus kuna madem. So you know sex talk mimi najua this African way, in the way I was raised, but there's no other kind of sex talk mimi najua. So I can say I was given a sex talk, and I can say I wasn't given a sex talk. Yeah. Then the second question is, let me check. The second question is, do you think teenagers should be given the sex talk by their parents? If yes, why? Yeah, I think teenagers should be given the sex talk by their parents, because you see, I'm a bit of a practical person, so these things should be dealt head on. Nafaa mtu ambie ukweli. You see, tukinyamazia hivi, that's why you have lots of cases of early teenage pregnancies. It's because we are never told about these things. So mtu anaenda campus au high school, tunaanza we start exploring our sexual lives in our own. But if we could have been given some kind of guidance before, ingekuwa rahisi juu ungekuwa unajua what you're doing. But the way you've been raised, nobody talks about sex. And ukionekana unaongea about sex, actually it's a crime. So I think teenagers should be given these sex talks, or talk about sex openly with their parents should talk openly about sex with their children, because it's good for them. And it's easy to get grow up here. Tusiseme tu hapa the parents should give. When we grow up and become parents, I think we should start talking about these things. Thinking about them will make controlling of some social issues easier. But if you don't speak about these things, hakuna mahali tutaenda. So do you think Africans lag behind when it comes to this? Yeah, African parents lag behind, because you see, mzazi ndio inafaa direct mtoi, but they are not doing that. So we are lagging behind. Angalia, look at these developed countries, maybe the USA, Britain, and other countries. They talk about these issues kwa TV na yako hapo live. Sisi tu tunasikia raise topic ya sex education. Sisi tunalipwa watoto, unafunza watoto. We don't speak about contraception. You see, kuna age kifika hizo control ndio kama mtu anataka kupeana ama kupewa hata kataa, because amefika hiyo age. But if we could have spoke about these things and spoke about different contraceptive measures, we can avoid many cases. So African parents are really lagging behind on this issue, and I guess they should be open about it. They shouldn't fear. It's not wrong to talk about sex. I mean, tukikuwa hata watu hivi mnapiga story tu, oh vile sijui umecheki ule dem sijui kufanya nini. Okay, short story, African parents are lagging behind this story, this thing about sex education. Yeah, that's it. Out. Peace. Thank you. Anthony.
Hello, well, my name is Sachi Juliet, and I'm here specifically to answer some of the questions which were forwarded to me by both Lavender and Sheila, and I had to write them down in order for me to remember. So, without further ado, let's head on to the questions. Question number 1. Were you given sex talk by your parents? Personally, I was given sex talk by my mom while I was growing up, and she still does up to date, and I'm so grateful for that. On to another question. Do you think teenagers should be given the sex talk by their parents? And if yes, why? Okay, so to my way of thinking, I believe that teenagers really need to be given sex education because, yeah, let me just use sex education instead of the sex talk. I believe it is one thing. So it is so important because, you know, when you're a teenager, you're on the verge of growing up. Like, it's like you're transitioning, you are in the midst of transitioning from being a teenager to becoming a grown-up, you get. So I believe it is so important for you to just know and master what you need to know about sex, because it helps shape you not only sexually but also morally, because as we all know, sex education, like when you give in sex education, you become much aware on what you need to know and which you didn't know, you get. Yeah, for example, in sex we do have STDs, we have HIV, we have gonorrhea, we have all those acquired diseases which are transmitted sexually, you get. So once you're being given the sex talk, you will be able to just master the art of sex. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, I believe you will be able to master the art of sex, and also you'll be able to know the do's and the don'ts, what you have to be careful about during sex, and it gives you prior knowledge. Also, you know, when you are being given sex education, you also learn on how to abstain, because abstinence is best, and for you to just save yourself from acquiring several diseases, I think it helps you to just be careful, because you know, as a teenager, you're always on the know, you always want to do this, you always want to try that. So I believe sex education really is important for a teenager. Yeah. And to the final question, do you think African parents lag behind when it comes to this? I mean, sex education. Yeah, I believe that the African parents really lag behind. I don't really understand why they don't teach their kids that, but I feel as if it's high time they just take the initiative and start teaching their kids on sex education, and this will help save us a big time. This is what I mean. Like, it will help prevent early pregnancies, it will help reduce the acquisition of sexually transmitted disease, and it will also help kids know the importance of sex and the importance of having to wait up to the right time. So that is it for today, and thank you so much. Bye.
What's up? Amani, what's up? Anyway, thank you for watching till the end. Juu kaa unaniwatch saizi inamaanisha watch till the end. Thank you. Yeah, you've heard our friends' opinion. Wametoa views zao according to them, and I totally agree with them 100%. Then there's one thing I want to tell you guys. This talk is for both genders. See, girl child pekee, even the boy child anafaa kupewa this talk. Hakuna story za ni girl child pekee, no, even the boy child. Yeah, I think it's a wrap. I think we're done. Toodles. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we upload.